Hey everyone, it's Neff here. I just wanted to take a couple minutes to go over something that I hear a lot. It's actually one of the most common questions that I get from many of my training clients, and especially in this group with a lot of you acclimating yourselves to the habits of eating clean and proper portion and working out on a daily basis. It's a question that comes up a lot, and that question is, how come other people are losing weight and I am not? Usually that's accompanied with, you're working out, you started eating, you start following the meal plan, you start doing the workouts, and you feel better in your clothing, you know that inches are coming off, but the weight isn't changing. So first off, before I jump into the technical side of things, I just want you to know, the scale is actually one of the worst ways to measure your progress when you're talking about fitness. Yes, the scale is important for us to find out where your starting point is, but after you figure out where your starting weight is, you really shouldn't worry about what the scale says. Why is that? Because there's lots of different things that can happen throughout the day or throughout the week that will affect what number actually shows up on your scale. And that can be pretty disconcerting for a lot of you. For instance, if you weigh yourself at different times of the day, your weight can be different. If you just ate some food, your weight will be different. If you had some water, your weight will be different. If you just finished working out, your weight will fluctuate. For the ladies, if it's that specific time of month, you'll retain some water and sodium. Your weight will be different. So don't worry about the day-to-day what the scale says. It's not going to be a very good measure to tell you how well you're doing with the program. Instead, I want you guys to focus on, how do you feel? How does your clothes feel? Do you take measurements? You should. So in addition to taking your initial weight, you should take initial measurements of your chest, your biceps, your waist, your hips, your thighs, and compare those as you go on. That's where you're going to see the change. Now, why does that happen? So as you're working out and you're taking in fewer calories than you're burning off, your body is going to start removing fat as fuel from parts of your body. Now you can never tell where that fat is going to come from, so that's why measuring is important, because you can start to see, oh, my biceps are a little smaller, or my hips got a little smaller. You can't train specific parts of your body. All you can do is stay consistent and keep working the total body day after day and eating properly, and it'll eventually take care of you in the end. Let me explain why this occurs when people come up to me and they say, hey, I know that I'm feeling good, I know that I'm losing weight, but I'm losing inches, but the scale isn't changing. So when you lose fat, the fat itself is removed from underneath the layer of skin. So right underneath the layer of your skin, there's fat. Right beneath that layer of fat is muscle. The muscle itself is what actually burns the fat away. So the muscle starts eating away at the fat. It gets actually liquefied and removed out of the body from your waist. So when you urinate, when you use the bathroom, that's when you're losing a lot of your fat. Well, a lot of people have this misconception that fat weighs more than, or that muscle weighs more than fat. That's not exactly true. What actually is the case is muscle is more dense than fat. So if I had this marker here, this marker could represent, 2 pounds of muscle, whereas 2 pounds of fat would be probably closer to 3 of these markers stacked up on top of each other. So as you can see, it's still 2 pounds either way you shake it, but 2 pounds of muscle is more tightly packed than 2 pounds of fat, which is why fat makes us look whiter, why it makes us feel more pillowy, because it's a much thicker layer. So as you're getting rid of the fat, your muscles are getting stronger, which means the dense weight of the muscle is increasing slightly because you're gaining muscle, but getting rid of fat. So a lot of times what you'll see is that your weight, which is made up of how much fat you have, the weight of your bones, the weight of your muscles, all of those things put together, is fluctuating just a tiny bit as your level of fat starts to normalize and get closer to the amount of muscle that you have. Don't worry, eventually, as your level of fat starts to dip below your level of muscle, you're going to start seeing the weight changing pretty quickly. Now, why does this happen? And why does it happen at different times for people? That's why we're going to refer to the chart. So as you can see on the chart, this is just a general timeline of what normal fitness stimuli does to the human body. So on the vertical axis, we have fitness stimulus. So basically this is not working out at all to increasing your workout and being more active. And of course, time is on the bottom axis. So this is when you decide to start working out and so on and so forth as you continue forward. So this line right here represents your baseline level. So this is pretty much before you start exercising. This is where your normal athletic level is, where your normal level of fitness resides. And of course, this is just an example. Yours could be here or here, whatever it may be. Now, as soon as you start exercising and your body starts to experience a new level of stimulus, different things are going to start happening. Your muscles have to adjust to what's going on. Your caloric intake has to adjust, and your body has to be convinced that it's going to be getting the proper amount of food all day long so that it doesn't have to hold on to certain things, and then it becomes more efficient. So then your body enters what's called a fatigue stage. This is the fatigue stage here. So you got your exercise stimulus going, and then all of a sudden, your level of fitness starts to drop. Now that doesn't mean that you're getting less fit, but what you perceive as stimulus, or at least as results, being, how tired you might feel, your level of soreness, and your weight, that perception is actually going to drop. And this is where people typically will see either no weight loss or even weight gain. And that's normal. Don't worry about it. So what's going to end up happening is, during this period, which for some people can last up to 6 weeks, so be patient. Normally it's about 2 or 3 weeks. Everything's going to start declining, and then here, you're going to hit a spot where your body finally says, aha, I get it. This is what we're doing. Let's make it work. Now everything starts picking up. So everything's going to go as time goes on. So now you're talking about probably right after or nearing your first 30-day mark and going forward, your level of fitness is going to start to increase. And you're going to start seeing a little bit of weight coming off here and there. You're going to start feeling better in your clothes, feeling better throughout your workouts, being able to push a little more, until you finally reach your baseline again. Now, as soon as you reach that baseline again, this spot right here is called supercompensation. And the reason it's called supercompensation is this is the moment in our fitness cycle where we develop the most amount of muscle quicker. So you're going to start developing more muscle here and noticing a lot more weight coming off, a lot more fat coming off quick. Well, this has to stop eventually. So you're going to end up topping off, and then eventually your fitness level is going to come back down to your baseline. Once you get back to your baseline, that's when we normally tell people who are working out with our plans to take a recovery week. This is when you enter recovery. You allow your body to kind of, fix itself, make itself feel better, replenish all of its nourishment. The muscles need to adjust to everything that happened because you can't just keep training and training and training and training. You need to get your rest. So not only do you want to get one rest day a week, but at the end of the cycle, so for you guys, from the end of your 21 days, take a few days off. Just rest. Maybe do some stretching, do some yoga, but something very low impact, and then get back into it. And what ends up happening is that after you go through this cycle, the cycle begins again, but now it's going to be at a higher level. So it's almost like a roller coaster. You're going to go up higher, and then higher, and then higher, and so on and so forth. So all of this stuff is very normal. It happens to absolutely everybody. It happens to somebody who is really obese. It happens to somebody who is a high-level professional athlete. It's just the way that our human body responds to exercise stimulus. So my tips to you, stick to the plan. Do not get discouraged. Don't worry about the numbers on the scale. And just keep in mind, what's happening to my body may be happening at a different time interval than it's happening to everyone else, but it happens to everyone. So don't get discouraged. You guys are doing an awesome job. Keep it up,
and I look forward to seeing you finally see the results that you want to see. Have a great day.